The continuation of the earlier video where we have left off. I'll continue from there. So, welcome back again. We are going to look at a picture, and there are some questions like these perceptions of an ideal woman that prevail in our society? Do you agree with any of this? If not, what is your image of an ideal woman? Please do comment in the comment box. This is the picture. You can see the perceptions of ideal woman. Now, to the TV serial makers, she is the ideal viewer. There are so many ladies or women who are believed to be watching serials. Now, to the fashion industry, she is the ideal beauty. To the society, she is the ideal housewife. To the prospective in laws, she is the ideal bride. To the employer and the male employees, she would be the ideal employee. Which one of these is you? Are you one of these, or do you have any image of an ideal woman? Please do comment down in the comment box. Now remember, this is how the perceptions of an ideal woman prevails in the society, where the society sees them, stereotypes them based on the role they perform. They see her as the ideal viewer, ideal beauty, ideal housewife, ideal bride, and the ideal employee. Why does this happen? Because of patriarchy. What is patriarchy? Patriarchy is a rule by father. Matriarchy is a rule by mother. This concept is used to refer to a system that values men more and gives them power over women. India is a largely a patriarchal nation where men are found to have more power than women. So you can see a picture here. If I had a hammer, I would smash patriarchy. I found it. She found a hammer called feminism, and she started to break out from the stereotype. Now, Indian women current scenario. What is the Indian women current scenario? Is Indian women still lag much behind men, even though the population is almost the same, but the society is still a male dominated society, and it is a patriarchal society. There are some castes where the patriarchal system works, and they take their name after their father, property after their father. So some of the caste also are there which carry the lineage from their mother too. Women face disadvantage, discrimination, and oppression in various ways. Now, this is a very important question. The question is, how are the women exploited or suppressed in India? Give five ways. So, there are five ways. I'll explain one by one. First one is educational. Women have a low literacy rate considered to men. Men have 76%, women have 54%. This is according to the 2001 census, maybe. Low proportion of girls for higher studies. Normally, because it's a patriarchal society, nobody wants the girl to go to school. So, low proportion of the girls go for higher studies. In school results, even though girls go in a very less number, they perform better than boys, if not lesser than boys. But girls drop out because parents prefer to spend their resources for their boys' education. Girl drops out to take care of their home, or girl drops out to take care of a younger one in the home. So a lot of reasons are there for a girl to drop out, whereas the parents like to send their sons to educate. To They want their sons to get educated and go for work, and they want their daughter to stay at home, cook, look after the house, and probably get married. The second one is occupation wise. Now look at the occupation wise, women among the highly paid and the valued jobs is still very small. If you take a number of occupation and consider differentiate based on the gender, you will see that the women are very less in a highly paid jobs. Which are these highly paid jobs? Like, we have given a survey here: managers, senior post holders, Look at the number. Men are 67%, women are 33%. Like the CEO, I'm not saying there are no women, but the number is less. An Indian woman works 1 hour more than an average man every day. So that's a fact for you. Yet much of our work is not paid and therefore often not valued. Whatever our mothers do it in the home, it's considered to be non-productive. She does so much of work. If she would have been paid, she would have been the richest one. Third one is wages. Now, the Equal Wages Act provides that equal wages should be paid to equal amount of work. This happens in public sector. This happens in the government sector. Regardless of which job you're doing, you will be getting the same wage salary as men and women. But areas like sports, cinema, factory, field, women are paid less than men. Now, I'll give you an example of cricket team. Indian cricket team, if you see Mahendra Singh Dhoni or Virat Kohli getting crores per match, whereas cricketer, a female cricketer, will not get the same amount of money that they get. And what they do, they play the same cricket. It's the same rule. It's the same pitch. They play with the same equipments that the men also do, but they are being paid less. If you take cinema also, the hero gets probably more money than the heroine gets. So you might have heard about that one also. A fourth one is about the sex ratio. In many parts of India, parents prefer to have sons if they think that they are going to have a daughter. They try to get the child aborted. Parents opt sex selective abortion. If they think there is a son, then they won't do it. If they think it's a daughter or it's a female child, then they go and abort the child. You have heard about that one. It leads to decline in child sex ratio, that is number of girl children per thousand boys in the country. Now it's 933. This is 2001 census. 2011 census, it's 933. As the map shows, this ratio has fallen below 850 or even 800 in some places. This is not the updated data, my dears. Now the updated data is the highest sex ratio is obviously found in Kerala and Puducherry, and the least is found in Haryana sex ratio. But Haryana's condition is also improving. Now the government is taking initiatives like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. So the conditions are improving. Now this is a work to you, but the map is a older one. Fifth one is security. Women are obviously prone to various kinds of harassments, exploitation, and violence. There are domestic violence, violence at workplace, at home. Obviously, you might have heard about the rape cases and all, acid attacks. So they are all very common nowadays. Urban areas have become particularly unsafe for women, not safe even within their home. They are suffering from their parents or spouse, husband. They get beaten, harassed, and other forms of domestic violence. So security is obviously very less. These are the 5 ways how an average woman in the country gets exploited. Remember these, you have to write with the help of the headings, and you have to explain. Now let's do it. Let's do some work here. Average daily time use. Now look at income generating work for men, 6 hours. Women, household, it's this much. Just look at the number. Talking and gossip, men and women do it same. No work, leisure, same almost. Sleep, men have more than women. Look at women's work goes for household and related. A time use survey was conducted in 6 states of our country. It shows that an average woman works every day for a little over 7.5 hours, while an average man works for 6.5. Yet the work done by men is more visible because most of the work leads to the income. Whatever he works, he claims that he is being paid. Women women also do a lot of direct income generating work, but the bulk of their work is household related, so it remains unpaid and invisible. Now you can conduct a similar time use survey in your own household. Observe all the adult male and female members of your family for 1 week. Every day, note down the number of hours each of them spend on the following activities like income generation, like the household, like cooking, cleaning, washing, fetching water, looking after the children and elders, reading and recreation, talking and gossiping, self care, taking rest and sleeping. If you want, you can make new categories, add up the time taken on each activity for a week, and calculate the daily average for each activity for each member. Do you think the woman or women work more in your family as well? Then you can come to the conclusion that yes or no. Now let's go to a serious issue that is about the women's political representation. Unless women control power, their problems will not get adequate attention. One way to ensure this is to have more women as elected representatives. In India, the proportion of women in legislature has been very low. Yeah, share of elected women in Lok Sabha has never reached even 10% of its total strength. Now it is more than 10% now, but while the time of the book it was not 10%. Share in the state assemblies is less than 5%. In state, yeah, it's very less. In the government, cabinets are largely all male. Even when a woman becomes the chief minister or the prime minister, even she become like the case of Indira Gandhi, where she was the prime minister, the cabinet used to be all male. Now you can name some of the cabinet ministers in the present NDA government headed by BJP, Nirmala Sitharaman being one. Yeah, she has the most important, that's the finance ministry, right? Now, women in national parliaments in different regions of the world. You can take a look at here. Now, this cartoon offers an understanding of why the women reservation bill has not been passed in the parliament. Do you agree with this reading? Don't worry. Well, we'll find a way for you. Now, the men are just claiming that they will find a way till the bill is stuck. Only in the local elections, the one-third reservation is given to the women. Could you think of some reasons why women's representation is so low in India? If you know, please do comment in the comment box. Do you think Americas and Europe have achieved a satisfactory level of women's representation? It's better than India for sure, but do you think it's satisfactory there? Now, solutions to this issue, what can be done? Make it legally binding to have a fair proportion of women in the elected bodies, whichever body it is it is whether it is the state election, that is the state legislative, or the parliamentary elections. It we should make legally binding. How do you make it legally binding? Provide them reservation at least half, one third. Start by giving one third, become half. By Panchayati Raj, one third of seats in local government bodies are now reserved for women. You already know it. I studied it in federalism. Now there are more than 10 lakh elected women representatives in rural and urban local bodies thanks to the one third reservation. Women's organizations have been demanding a similar reservation for one third in Lok Sabha and state assemblies. I told you the bill is pending in the Rajya Sabha. Bill regarding it's pending more than a decade. Gender division is an example that some form of special the social division needs to be expressed in politics. This also shows that disadvantaged groups do benefit when social divisions become a political issue. Now, in this case, the disadvantaged group would be the female or the women group. So, if it becomes a political issue, they should get benefited. Now, if casteism and communalism are bad, what makes feminism a good thing? Why don't we oppose all those who divide the society on any lines, caste, religion, or gender? Now, you might ask a question about why, if casteism and communalism are bad, then why feminism is a good thing. But remember, this cartoon offers an understanding of why the women's reservation bill has not been passed in the parliament. They are just stuck with, don't worry, we will find a way for you, for more than 10 years, decade now. And you can see a woman here standing with the reservation bill outside, waiting to get inside the parliament, where the men are not allowing them to get inside. Well, that brings to the end of part one. Today you had two videos, in the first introductory video and the second one, which is very important. What is important in today's both of the videos is the women sexual division of labor, feminist movement, and how are the women exploited. Tomorrow we'll come up with religion and politics, how religion influences politics, and how politics becomes an issue in religion. It's very interesting, and we will discuss about the caste sentiments as well. Now till then, it's goodbye from me. Thank you for watching.